Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Nikita Antoine and today I'll be doing a reading for the sign of Leo. As always with all of my readings, they are timeless, so when the message finds you and resonates, and it's yours at the time in which you find it. So as you can see, I am at a different location. I haven't quite finished the moving process yet, so the backdrop keeps like shifting and changing. At this new place, there are lots of critters with me, so you'll probably hear them in the background, the dogs wrestling. All right, so, okay, Jinx, no more fighting. You can't see it, but I'm literally getting attacked by this creature. So you see. All right, so Leo, today I am doing your reading with my blended deck. It's the Ethereal Visions and Dreamscape Oracle. So you'll be seeing a mix of both of those in your spread. All right, so right at the top, we've got the Five of Cups at the bottom of the deck. And then on the split, we've got the White Owl. Ooh, 137 on the clock, which talks about congratulations. Congratulations is what it speaks of. You know, it's really interesting that we have the owl here, and this message usually doesn't come through with the owl, but it's kind of talking about like school, you know, like there's that iconic imagery of like the wisdom of an owl that's represented with school, and now we're talking about congratulations, so I'm sensing like a graduation from some experience. I was going to say school, but let's take it outside of the realm of school. But it's some experience that is giving you a bittersweet ending, is what it's coming up as, you know, because if we're graduating from school, it's almost like you don't want to leave. You don't want to leave and go on this new journey because you're still in the energy of, like reminiscing on all the times that you had during this education, and essentially just not wanting to let that go but what we're seeing here is that while you are so focused, you know, on what is right in front of you, you know, which is you're so focused on the ending that you're not quite seeing like a new beginning that is wanting to come in for you, in which you have all of the wisdom, well, not wisdom, I want to say all of the knowledge that you've acquired in this, you're now going to be able to apply it in your life with the White Owl energy. Okay, well, that's a great start. I can definitely see how it is correlating in your read today. It does seem that we do, at the very beginning of your reading, we do have an ending that is coming up, and also a looking back at too. So that is right in line. So I got these new cards that I want to use as a overall energy. They came as like, I don't know, they were a gift, and I don't know the name of them. I'm sorry, but I will try to find that for you and put that in the bottom of the description box. I just want to like use this as an overall energy. So, you know, and I want to say actually, what's the outside energy that is kind of having a hand in what you're going through right now. This deck is so tiny. All right, so let's get an overall energy for Leo. Here we go. We have the Skull. And this is, I mean, it's the Skull. So, you know, of course, we're talking about a, it's kind of like the Death card. It's also the card of transition, which if you're, you know, if you're graduating from a certain stage in your life, that is definitely a major transition, and one in which you would naturally grieve for. There's something here in the eyes, though. Well, he doesn't have eyes. But there's something here in the eye holes. Okay. It's like how this, you see how this one is dark. Hopefully you can see this. This one is a little bit lighter. So it's speaking of also the transition in perspective too, like seeing this situation as congratulations, you have achieved, after much study, you have achieved an accomplishment that you've spent many years working on, versus, you know, see, this is the white and the black, much like in the Skull. Or, you know, viewing it as that, as this energy, as the Five of Cups energy, which I want to say is definitely coming over more as a like a bittersweet ending. Okay, so now that we're 7 minutes in, we're gonna start the cards off. I've done it a little bit differently than how I usually do. I usually do 2 rows and then read it like a comic strip, but today I've decided to just do 1 row, since I've been getting a lot of information out from the cards, and then I'm going to create an extended, so that link will be in the description box as well. All right, let's get past all this. Okay, so we are starting your reading off with the Ten of Swords, and this is coming up as that ending that we're speaking of, that abrupt ending to some type of education, an education that you have been going through. There is an ending to that education. And what I'm seeing here with you is, so it's presented, I'm trying to see exactly how this is all coming up. All right, so in this ending, you see this water here. In the Virgo reading, it was talking about how somewhere all the way out there in the distance, be it time or space, there was a wave that is coming. And before this wave comes, it's kind of like a tsunami. So tsunami hits, all the water from the land is pulled all the way back to where the floor seabed is being presented. So it's like this, what you are seeing is the seabed. So this water is receding away from the land, and what it's uncovering is this ending, something at the bottom of the seabed, and you know, and especially with like the Five of Cups that's coming out, as well as the Skull that came out before, and you know, the water being pulled away from the bottom of the ocean. It's kind of hard for me not to see this as like the water creatures are it's like you're witnessing this ending in someone else. Okay, so perhaps maybe the ending of this education, the congratulations or the graduation, it's someone else, because this is now coming through as like you're witnessing the water move away from another being, and what's being uncovered is this ending. It's almost coming through as like dead fish at the bottom, like, you know, because there's no more water. They're gonna die. All right. So with this, hang on, it's coming out actually, because, you know, positions matter. It's coming out like this. So this is you. This is you here in the Seven of Pentacles, looking over at all of the water that has ceased to be in this space. The 1111, you're getting a lot of number synchronicities. The water in Virgo's reading was coming up as like love. So it was actually specifically speaking of someone pulling their love away from another. So what I'm seeing here is that you are witnessing someone in the scenario. They are experiencing the ending, and you're watching someone pull their love away from them. Or someone, you see what I'm saying? There's three people in this mix. And what you're doing is, it's almost like while you're just like busy at work, you're just, you know, doing your thing, you're in your garden, you're just in your day-to-day life task, you're busy doing this work, and it's like as you are, it's kind of coming through as like as you are like ticking away things on your to-do list, or you know, just the daily task that you need to perform, like it's coming sort of over as like a harvesting, like with each task that you complete, it's like you're harvesting the that congratulations feeling that, you know, that task is finished. But it's like as you keep pulling off, stop Jinx, as you keep uncovering all of this, this is what you're finding in the center of it. You're finding you're finding someone that is in like the midst of, you know, I'm being very picky about my words here, because I'm wanting to say you're finding somebody in the midst, you know, because Ten of Swords, I mean, it does talk about betrayal. I mean, all of the swords are in their fucking back. You know what's actually really coming through is there's another deck. You know, this is just for one of you out there, but it's like you're finding somebody in the midst of a betrayal, an ending, like it's very abrupt. It literally is taking their breath away, because if they are like a water creature or one of the water, meaning one of love, so a person who is a very loving person, you're seeing them in the midst of love being almost like snatched away from them. They're kind of in a way like it's fine, everything's fine, everything is fine. But what you're seeing is in the Seven of Pentacles, what you're seeing is it's definitely not fine. It's needing a lot of care care is what's coming through, because it's almost like you're analyzing. It's interesting. It's because it's kind of flipping between like it is your situation, but then it's also like somebody else's situation. So it's coming up as like you're in it, but then you're also witnessing it happening to somebody else. So it's like you're looking back over it with, okay, so because what's following next is we have the moon. So you're looking back over the situation with, you know, just the internal introspection, I mean, come on, that's literally the same thing. With introspection over what happened, what went wrong, how could this not be something that is for me? And you know what I'm seeing is like you put a lot of care into this situation, and even still the water drained away from it. So it's like I mean, if we're going to the metaphor of like a garden, if you will, you analyze the nutrient level of the soil, you understand, you know, how to keep the water pure and clean for the plants. You know, you like getting really in touch with the pruning process and understanding how, like, you know, this is what this education is. This is what the education is here. And you're understanding that pruning process. You're getting that, like, in order for things to grow, you have to clip away. You know what I mean? You have to kind of put a little like death energy into it so that it can properly grow. But you know what I'm seeing here is that what's happening is that the thing that you have been trying to grow, the thing that you have been educating yourself with, you've been learning about it, is coming to an end, because that's really what it was only meant to be for. It's kind of like, okay, let's just keep going with the gardening thing. It's kind of like you're buying your very first plant, right? And you don't know what to expect. It's an experiment is really what it is. This experiment is a very, like, it's not a very empathetic word, but the experience, that's what it is. The experience was almost like an experiment in order for you to gain the education, lots of E's, education that you need in order to, when you go back through this process again, you can now apply the wisdom that you learned before. Now, in order to go back into that scenario again, there is an ending that has to happen. You know what I mean? Like, the first experiment has to come to a halt. It has to end. And that's kind of the phase where you're stuck now in this moon energy. Not stuck. It's not a stuck energy. It's really kind of just you're setting space, a time. You're setting time aside to really dig deep. You're really trying to dig deep and understand why this is happening to you. Why is this happening to you? Why is this happening to you? Or why is this happening to somebody else? And the reason is because it's an education. I mean, we can go into that it's like a lesson, if you will, but it's the purpose that it's serving is to educate. And with the moon energy, you know, I'm seeing this as, we were talking in the Virgo reading about how all the moon was pulling the water away. You know, when the moon is full, the tides recede. I believe that's correct. Yeah, the tides recede. The water is pulled away. You know what I mean? So you're in the moon energy, trying to understand what, you know, it's almost like you're trying to understand the natural cycles. It's like you're trying to understand the nature of why things have to end. Why, like, and it's kind of one of those things, like, it's a part of nature. There is explanation to it, you know, like we're talking about, like, okay, yeah, I get it. I'm supposed to be learning a lesson or whatever. I'm getting an education in this situation and understanding how to use the knowledge that I've gained and apply it to other situations in order to concrete that, right, as wisdom. But it's almost like the real answer is that it's nature. It's just, it is kind of what it is really what's coming out. It's like, it's a part of nature. It's a part of the cycles. There's almost really nothing that you can do to change that, because if you were to change that, you would miss out on this education. You know, it's kind of like if we're starting some type of new hobby, you know, you can't expect that right gunning from the gate that it's going to be perfect. You're going to hit all the marks on, you know what I mean? Everything is going to be like the professionals, you know what I mean? And what this is saying is that you have to do it, and then you got to do it again. And then as you do, it's coming along with like a sense of practice makes perfect, but practice really doesn't make perfect. Practice makes like, practice just, there's a mix up on the word perfect. It's not ever perfect, because perfect implies that there's no room for growth. And that what this is saying is that in order to grow and achieve the education that you need, you have to practice. And sometimes that shows up in our lives as these, you know, endings, these cycles that, you know, now I want to say with all of these swords, these karmic cycles that we go through in order to learn the lesson at hand. So I'm seeing, you know, we have you sitting in the moon energy. Hang on, it's not you anymore. It's shifting. So we have now, this is the moon. Now this is just the moon itself. This is representing a force that is outside of you, that has a hand in what's at play here in the situations that you are dealing with in your life. So we have the moon here, and you know, the moon was talking about pulling the waters back, which would happen, you know, on the full moon. I'm still learning about moons and stuff, so yeah, I'm pretty sure that the water pulls back at the full moon and reveals everything, you know, the sea floor. Now we're talking about, because, you know, I think it's tomorrow's the new moon, right? So now that wave is coming back in, and it's being represented here as the Fool energy. And I don't know if you can see this in the background. It's coming across as the actual wave. Like in the Virgo reading, we had experienced the water being pulled away, and in the very, very far distance, we could see the waves starting to come closer. And now in this Fool energy, you can see how close the wave is. It's very close. I mean, it's literally like, probably, I would assume that this is, I mean, it's like, it's right here. It's happening very soon. It's like in the now. The new moon. I think the new moon is in Virgo. Oh my God. Okay. I'm just, because, you know, it presented itself in Virgo, and then, you know, the wave and all this stuff. Okay. Okay. So now when this wave comes in, listening to what they're doing. When this wave comes in, it's coming in with the Fool energy. And, you know, we have you with the Seven of Pentacles. And, you know, the moon is dividing you two. The moon, in a sense, dividing you two. The moon's action of pulling the water away is what is dividing you both. Now, we can be talking about a relationship that you are in, what, you know, and that it encompasses many different types of relationships. But the moon is what is separating you. And what I'm seeing now, though, is that as the moon is releasing its grip on the wave, and the wave is starting to come back in, it's bringing in with it, just before the wave comes in, it's bringing in with it the Fool energy. And the Fool is talking about that brand new beginning that we were speaking of before. You know, you're so focused on, you know, we had the congratulations, the graduation, we had all of that. You are focused on, why does this have to end? I don't want it to end. You know, this is not what I envisioned happening. You know what I mean? With the Seven of Pentacles, this is not what I envisioned happening. But with this wave now coming in, we're seeing the new thing that is coming in. This is the new thing. I want to emphasize, this is the new thing that is coming in. This one is gone. This is the new that is coming in. I don't know why there is a distinct emphasis on brand new. I don't know why. Now with this Fool, you know, he's got something here. There's that connection with the Fool energy, you know, and I think it's just talking about that the moon is what's bringing this. The moon energy is what's bringing it in. And now the Fool, when it comes in, it has something with it. And what's with it is, what's with it is the Devil energy. And before you go all up in arms and, oh my God, it's the Fool, it's that new thing, that new, you know, because we were talking about earlier about karmic cycles. Hang on, this cat. We were talking before about karmic cycles and all of those types of, you know, cycles that we go through and end up in this Ten of Swords energy. This is coming across as, all right, so let me just get a little closer. You see these emblems here? There's one there. There's one there. You know, we've got this kind of one right here. They're alive is what's coming over. It's alive. You know, they kind of look like, they almost look like fish mouths. You know, we were looking at, like, talking about how this is like a fish at the seabed that, you know, when the water was pulled away, it's I was going to say ceased to exist is what I was going to say, but it's almost like it's died. And, you know, what I'm seeing here is in this full energy, oh my God. Okay, yeah, it's still recording. Geez, I almost thought it wasn't recording. Okay, so this full energy, you know, we see here, down here, this is kind of like the same. They're very similar. I don't know if you can see this, the same emblems, you know, there's that connection there. And whereas this one is alive, this one is coming out as actually kind of hollow. Like it's not there. It's kind of like when you're on the beach and you're finding seashells, but they're not alive anymore. You know what I mean? The life is not within those shells anymore. It's coming across as like a token, or like a medal, or like a graduation gift is kind of what it's presenting as. You know, you might not be seeing it as a gift because you're experiencing the loss of it, but the cards are saying that this is a major milestone that you have achieved, and this is like your like a pendant that is like being put on your, it's like a badge. It's like you have earned your badge of education. So you have been educated in these in this karmic cycle. You've learned, it's talking about you've completed all the lessons that needed to be complete. And so what, in essence, what that is doing is it's kind of interesting. It's coming out as like you're pulling the life, the love away from that karmic energy, away from the devil energy, and you're pulling it into yourself. It's like you're almost like you're like with that wave of energy, it's almost like you're pulling the wave. It's like it's like you're pulling the wave towards you, and it's almost like you're pulling yourself towards you. And when this happens and you come to the realization that this ending it's not a bad ending. It's not. You have now acquired this you have now acquired the knowledge that you need. And this is so beautiful, because it's almost like there's, you know, it's coming, this is what it's talking about. This white owl energy, this knowledge, it's coming with you. It's coming with you. So you are now in a space in which you are jumping into the unknown with the energy of this wave behind you. It's almost like the wave is like supporting you, and it's like you're surfing into a brand new shoreline is how it's coming over. A brand new shoreline. And you're bringing everything that you have learned with you. And there's something here also that you're also carrying this moon energy. The moon energy. And I'm wanting to say that that is actually, it's what it's talking about is your ability to be able to manipulate the waters in the same way that the moon does, which is talking about pulling away and pushing forward. So pulling away the water, and here it's coming over across as like love. It's been coming up as like love. And then also pushing is like, now you understand how, that's interesting. Because with that devil energy here, you're understanding how it's now coming over as you're understanding how that, you know, because we were talking about, if we're talking about pulling and pushing love, you know what I mean? We can be speaking about almost like emotional manipulation, if you will. You could be understanding how the emotional manipulation affected you. And so you're leaving that behind and going into something that is, the emphasis is brand new. You know, this is crazy. I try to do one row of cards and it ends up that my videos are still around 35 minutes. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I got long videos. Okay, so Leo, I am going to pull cards for your extended reading. You can find the link to that in the description box. And if you don't join me there, I will see you next time. Thanks for watching, Leo. Have a good one.